Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say Kahala Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakahak Wadash. That's all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh, and the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, right? The name is Yahweh Shai, not Yeshua, not Yahuwah, not all this other nonsense. It's Yahweh Shai, right? Bahashem, in the name of Rakah Quadash, right? Spirit Holy. Right, I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles that labored in this truth before me and taught me this truth, and shalom to the hopeful elect. Right, I just want to go into really like a mindset video, man. Right, you know, the title of this video is gonna be "They Found Him in the Temple." You know, and that's speaking of Yahweh Shai, right? We'll get the story, but when Yahweh Shai, you know, snuck off from his parents. And when they was in Egypt, or wherever they were for the Passover, right? The parents of Yahweh Shai was looking for him, right? And where they found him? They found him in the temple, man. And that's the mindset we want to have in this truth, bro. You want to be found in the temple, right? What's the temple today, man? The scriptures, right? You out there on the street corners doing the work. You teaching, doing lessons, man. You want to be found keeping the law to the best of your ability, right? Doing acts of righteousness, right? You want to be addicted to doing acts of righteousness, honoring the Heavenly Father and His Son, man. You know what I mean? So when people looking for you, you want, hey, you found in the temple, you found doing what you're supposed to do. Someone see you out on the street, right? They saw you, you know what I mean, being the best representation of this ministry, the best representation of the Father, right? You know what I mean? You was coming in His image, you know what I mean? Displaying wisdom, displaying understanding, displaying knowledge, man, and a semblance of righteousness, right? Because we don't want to count ourselves as a righteous, but we want to do righteous acts, man. We want to do things that are pleasing to the Most High God, so that when we present our body a living sacrifice, it's a sweet savor unto the Lord, right? So I'm gonna get into this video real quick.
Playing basketball.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I enjoyed playing basketball.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And and when I say that, people tend to have a tendency to take that lightly.
Yeah.
But no, I love the game. I love it, right? I didn't want to be away from it. I wanted to play all the time. Like a lot of guys have fun hanging out in the pool in Vegas, and that's it's fine. There's a time and place for that, right? But like when I was 18, 20, 21 years old, I wanted to play basketball. I was consumed with this quest of trying to be the best. You know, we weren't there yet. There's so many things I had to figure out, like am I training properly? Am I working on the right things on the court? There's so many things to do. I didn't have time to go and hang out over here. So,
right, and the whole point of me playing this video is, man, you know, this man Kobe, he became champion. He got that corruptible crown, right? How much more should we be addicted to getting this incorruptible crown, right? He said he loved the game. He loved to play basketball. We should love these scriptures. We should love to do the things that are pleasing to the Most High God, right? Especially studying, man. Praying, fasting, right? We should want to do these things, right? Because the Most High God laid us out this perfect book, you know what I mean, with all the knowledge of our ancestors, right? You so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the true biblical Israelites, right? Everything that was written is written for our learning, man. Let me get this in, let's get 1 Corinthians 16th chapter, 16 and 15, right? It says, I beseech you, brethren, you know the house of Stephanus, that is the first fruits of Achaia, and that they have addicted themselves to the ministry of the saints, right? And that's one thing we gotta do. We gotta addict ourselves. If you're a teacher, you should be addicted to the ministry of the saints, man. Edifying the people, edifying the sheep, right? You should be addicted to this. Let's get this word. Let's just look up the word addicted, right? What does the word addicted mean, right? Physically and mentally dependent on a particular substance and unable to stop taking it without incurring adverse effects, right? And you should feel like, hey, man, you should be addicted to praying and studying, right? You shouldn't feel right if you don't get into this word. You shouldn't feel right if you don't pray to the Heavenly Father, right? You got to be addicted to this thing, man. You got to be addicted to this ministry because, hey, we're not all going to make it, man. Many are called, few are chosen, right? The ones that are going to make it are the ones that are addicted to the ministry, are addicted to the scriptures, right? And they want to make their calling and election sure. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to St. Luke. St. Luke. So this is the book of St. Luke, chapter 2. And I'll start at verse 44. It says, but they supposing him to have been in the company went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinfolk and acquaintances. So this is talking about Yahushua, right? When they went to Jerusalem for the past. I'll just start at verse 41. It says, St. Luke chapter 2 and 41 says, now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. And this is a cut on these Christians, man. We see that Yahushua, his parents, went every year to Jerusalem for the Passover, as is custom of the law, right? And these people just completely, overlook that and just say, fuck that, we about to celebrate Easter. We don't care nothing about Passover. We don't care nothing about what the Messiah did. We about to do what we want to do, right? That's clear proof that these ain't the people of the book, man. Right? And y'all aren't following the book. Y'all don't truly believe in who you call Jesus Christ, man, whose real name is Yahushua. Right? Verse 2. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. And when they had fulfilled the days as they returned, the child Yahushua tarried behind in Jerusalem, and Joseph and his mother knew not of it. But they, supposing him to have been in the company, went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinsfolk and acquaintances. And when they found him not, they turned back again to Jerusalem, seeking him. And it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of doctors, both hearing them and answering them questions. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. Right? So, hey, man, they lost Yahushua, man. They found him in the temple. They found him in the gym, man. You know what I'm saying? Putting in work. That's what he was doing. He's 12 years old. He putting in work, man. He's a young prodigy. Right? That's how we got to endeavor to be. Hey, man, they looking for us. They're going to find us in the gym. Right? What was that? Rick Ross said, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Hey, man, you got to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, man. You got to be addicted to this thing. Right? Whether you're a teacher or you're not, man. If you just watch videos, you should be addicted to getting this knowledge, man, getting this wisdom. You're a teacher, you should definitely be addicted to this wisdom, because the teachers are going to be judged more harshly. Right? You don't want to half-ass nothing. The Most High God gave you talents, you got to multiply that, man. You got to be flipping that. You want to be found in the temple, man. Because we're saying Micah the 3rd chapter, Yahushua is going to, when he comes back, he's going to visit his temple. Right? Who's the temple today, man? That's the Israelites that are waking up and spiritually building this temple, man. Right? And those that rejected the duty, that didn't enlist, hey, man, they're going to have a great punishment, right? Even if you just, you come into the truth and you start keeping the ways, man. You keep the law to the best of your ability. Everybody's law ain't to be a teacher, right? You enlist by supporting the ministry, right? Giving a prophet a cup of water. What does it say? You receive a prophet in my name, you shall receive a prophet's reward. Paraphrasing, right? But the people that failed to enlist, that didn't even step off the porch, right? They stayed in the world. Yeah, those are the people that the Most High God, when he sends his son back, those people are going to perish, man. They're going to be destroyed here. 2/3 of our people got to be destroyed here in Babylon. All right, let me get this real quick, just to prove what I was saying about the temple, man. All right, it's the book of Malachi 3 and verse 1. It says, behold, I will send my messenger, right? The first messenger here is John the Baptist, Elijah, right? And we know through the Spirit he came back as Abba Bivens, man, to set everything back in its order and prepare that highway for Yahushua, right? Prepare that landing strip so that chariot can come here, that fathership can come here and redeem his people, man. and all the heathen can see and tremble, right? Because the name of the Lord will be magnified throughout the whole earth, right? Yahweh, that's the name. It's not being profitable. I mean, his name is profitable, but it's not, don't hold weight in this world, because the people of this world don't know it. That's why it's so beautiful that the men of the Lord, right, the true biblical Israelites, that are teaching this truth and sincerity, they got the name of the Lord. Why? Because it's going to be magnified on his return. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go back to the old ways, the Paleo Hebrew, right? It's not Yahweh. It's not Yahuwah. Nah, man, it's Yahweh, right? And the prophets gave us this name, man. It was passed down through our elders, man. And this name has always been in the world, right? It's going to be magnified again, right? Reading on, it says, and he shall prepare the way before me, and the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple, right? This is talking about Yahweh Shai. He's going to visit his temple. It says, even the messenger of the covenant whom ye delight in, behold, he shall come, saith Yahweh of hosts. But who may abide in the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire and like fuller's soap, right? So he's coming with that fire, man. He's going to purge out the iniquity, right? Verse 3, and he shall sit as a refiner and a purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons of Levi and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto Yahweh an offering in righteousness. Then shall the offering of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasant unto Yahweh, as in the days of old and as in the former years, right? So Yahweh Shai is coming to visit this temple, man, right? And we're the temple, right? The Spirit dwells in us, you know what I mean? So we gotta treat our body like a temple, right? And you gotta, what goes on in the temple? Priestly work, man. You got to be continually putting that wood on the fire. The burnt offerings can't stop, man. They got to continuously come, right? It's an everyday thing, right? So reading on, it says, verse 40, St. Luke 2:47 says, and all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and his answers, right? We're not going to be as sharp as Yahweh Shai, but we got this whole book so that we can be sharp with understanding. We know how to answer every man, when a question is asked of us, right? We won't be confounded because we're leading on the spirit of Yahweh Shai, right? What's that spirit? Being in that temple, man. Being in that gym, pinning up shots, pinning in that work, right? Verse 48. And when they saw him, they were amazed, and his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I sought thee sorrowing. And he said unto them, how is it that ye sought me? Was ye not that I must be about my father's business? Right? And that's what we gotta be. Hey, we gotta be about our father's business. Let's get this word for business, man. Let's get this word for business. Right now, give me the word for business, but well, man, we gotta be. Hey, man, we gotta be flipping this talent, man. You know what I mean? We gotta be supplying. If you're a teacher, man, you got to be supplying the streets with this truth, man. The truth got to keep coming out, man, day or night, man. He set up, let me get that, matter of fact, set up watchmen that hold their peace, neither day nor night. And we see that what's happened to these small hats, man. They getting exposed in a major way, man. Everywhere you look, someone's putting up a video about these dudes, right? This truth is going to continuously come out. And there's not one faucet you can stop, man, because there's so many avenues that's coming out. So many people. That's why it's important to have a lot of laborers, right? Right. What Yahweh Shai said, the labor is plenty, but the harvest, the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. Right. But you look up, man, the true men of the Lord are putting up these videos nonstop, man. They're not letting this devil breathe. Right. Camps popping up everywhere. Hey, the most important thing is teach the correct doctrine. Right. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 62 and verse 6. It says, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of Yahweh, keep not silent, right? So hey, there ain't no rest for this man, right? Day or night, we be coming out with this truth, man. Letting know what it is. Letting, declaring clean from unclean, right? letting these heathens know, hey, they haven't deceived us, man. We know what the truth is, and we gonna keep on pushing it. Right. Verse St. Luke 2:51. 50. It says, and they understood not the saying which he spoke unto them, and he went down with them and came to Nazareth, and was subject unto them. But his mother kept all these sayings in her heart. Right. She was like, damn, what is he talking about? You know what I mean? It was resonating with her spirit. Right. Verse 52. And Yahushua increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with the Most High and men. Right. But this is a beautiful thing right here. When you look at this, he increased in wisdom. He increased in wisdom and stature. Right. That means he was getting better. Right. The word prokopto, right, for increase, right, to beat forward, to lengthen out by hammering, right, as a smith forges metals, right. So what is it? Iron sharpens iron, as one brother to another, right. He was hammering out, man. This is from an early age, man. He was hammering away, increasing in wisdom and stature, right, to promote forward, further, to go forward, advance. So the Most High God, his son Yahushua was increasing, steadily increasing, right, making itself more profitable. All right, let's get this word for stature. All right, coming of age. All right, but that's a beautiful thing. Yahushua, when he was on the earth, he was increasing. So how much more us, man? You either, because there's only two things. You either get better or you get worse. You don't stay the same, man. If you fail to use something, you're going to lose the ability to use it, right? So you got to be always using the spirit, man. Right? And the spirit feeds off these scriptures, right? What we got next? Let's get St. Luke 12:31. Right? This book of St. Luke, chapter 12 and verse 31 says, but rather seek ye the kingdom of the Most High, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Right? Hey, and we seek in the kingdom, the Most High God is going to give it to us. But you seek it by doing the things that are pleasing to him, man. You can't put him on the back burner, right? The truth ain't a cup you can pick up and put down as you please. Nah, man, you got to steadily have this inside of you, not on you, right? This truth got to be inside of you, man. It's got to be, you know what I mean, just coming out of your pores, right? You got to breathe. You got to live this thing, you know? I don't mean you can't have a life outside of the truth, but everything you do should be filtered through the scriptures. It says, with all thy getting, get understanding, man. You should continuously be learning. You might be out with your kids, you out with your rib, and you just looking at the animals, man, seeing how they move, and you getting wisdom from that, right? Because when we look at King Solomon, man, he was well studied in everything, man. He could sit down and talk to you about frogs, right? Chemistry, all that shit. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean, everything we do should be filtered through the scriptures, right? We should always be increasing. And what does it say? You should be seeking the kingdom, man. Seek the kingdom nonstop, man. You know what I mean? Y'all will seek after a broad, chase after this broad for days, weeks, months, some of y'all niggas years. But you want to seek after the kingdom? You get tired after a little while, man? Nah, man, you can't get tired, right? That's not even an option, right? Verse 33 says, sell that ye have and give alms, provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. Right? And you know, we sell everything we have by giving up this life that we used to have, man. You know, and coming into this truth. That's why we change our names, right? You know what I mean? That's why we change our names. So we immerse ourselves in who we're supposed to be. That's why we keep these laws to the best of our ability, right? We are immersing ourselves in the old ways, the old paths, right? We don't eat the same things. You know, we don't wear the same things. We don't talk about the same shit. You get what I'm saying? Right? We're cleansing our past. right? Verse 34, it says, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And our treasure should be in the heavens, man. We should be building up that spiritual bank account. Yeah, we got to work here. You got to take care of yourself, right? But ultimately, everything you do should be to the benefit of the ministry, man, and the benefit of your calling, right? Your calling to that election. That's how you gotta have your priorities right. Verse 35 says, let your loins be girded about and your lights burning. And ye yourselves like unto men that wait for Salakia. And ye yourselves like unto men that wait for their Lord when he will return from the wedding, that when he cometh and knocketh, they may open unto him immediately. All right, let's get 36 in a different translation. Let's get an NLT. It says, and though you were waiting for their master to return from the wedding feast, then you will be ready to open the door and let him in the moment he arrives and knocks, right? And you only gonna be ready if you gird it up. You gotta gird up your loins, man. What King David tell Solomon, hey man, let me show thyself a man, right? Gird up your loins, right? And how did he do that? By keeping the commandments, right? By keeping the commandments and taking heed to the word of the Lord. Right, verse 37, blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Surely I say unto you that he shall gird himself and make them to sit down to meat and will come forth and serve them, right? So blesses them that are found in the temple when Yahushua comes, man. Who's doing this priestly work, who's feeding their spirit with good meat, right? Blesses those that that are watching when he comes. Let's get this word for watch. All right. Watching. Gregorio, right? Give strict attention to. Be cautious. Active. Be active. That's important, man. You got to be active in this ministry, man. You got to be active in these scriptures. Right? It's got to be a daily thing. It says, to take heed, lest through remission and idle, let me get how to pronounce this word. I always pronounce this word wrong, I believe. Right? Let me see how it's said.
Indolence,
right? Indolence, right? Avoidance of activity or exertion, laziness, right? You can't be doing it, displaying indolence, man. You can't be, you know what I mean, idle. Right, that's where that word comes from, indolence, right? To take heed lest through remission and indolence some destructive calamity suddenly overtakes one, right? And if we're watching, we're looking at the prophecies. We're looking at the times, and we're warning our people. And we're warning ourselves, man. We're constantly like, damn, you know what I mean? We're right here at the end, man. Let me stay strong. Let me stay vigilant, right? Let me increase what I've been doing. Let me feed my spirit. Because, you know, Satan, he's running around the earth like a roaring lion, man, trying to see who he can devour, man. So when the time you not girded up, the time you didn't come ready, hey, that's when Hasatan, the adversary, is going to jump on you, man, pounce on you. That's what he does best, man. He's crafty. Well, let's see what this. All right. Oh, yeah. The root word is Egerio, Egiro, right? Of buildings, to rise up, construct, right? To erect, rise up, produce, right? Arouse, cause to rise, right? But I like this one, of buildings, man. You're building yourself up. You're rising up. You're constructing this building, man. Don't not the scriptures tell you that ye are the Most High's building, right? So we got to be building up a strong fortress. Where were we at? What else I wanted? Let's jump down to verse 40. He says, but St. Luke 12:40 he says, be ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour when ye think not, right? And that's the whole point of this. Being found in the temple goes into being ready, man. You know what I'm saying? If you was a hooper, you didn't want to wait until the opening night of the season. You know what I mean? A couple of days before, you just like, you know what? Let me work on my jumper. You know, I'm good at driving, but let me work on my jumper. Or you're like, oh, you know what? I can go right, but let me work on my left hand. No, nigga, it's too late. You had the whole off season. When nothing was happening, that's when you was supposed to be getting ready, right? So when the season comes, you open, like I said, you could open the door immediately, right? You get straight on the court. Wow, you going between the legs. You know what I mean? You between the leg, behind the back, step back, jumper. You know what I mean? You wetting threes in people's face, pause, right? You getting busy, man. You dunking, you 360 dunking, man. You running layups on niggas. Why? Because you was ready. You was in the gym. You was doing what you was supposed to do, right? Verse 41. Then Peter said unto him, Lord, speakest thou this parable unto us, or even to all? And the Lord said, who then is that faithful and wise steward, whom his Lord shall make ruler over his household, to give them their portion of meat in due season? Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing, right? Blessed is him that's found in the temple, man. You know what I'm saying? That's been putting in the work, right? That's been girding himself up, man. Like, what did it say? Increasing, right? Swinging that hammer, man. Swinging that hammer, right? You gotta be putting in the work, man. No matter what your lot is, right? You might just be a brother's husband. That don't mean you ain't got work to do. Shit, you should be praying, asking your husband to teach, right? Reading these scriptures, man. No matter what your lot is, you gotta be doing work, man. You gotta be putting in work, right? The Most High God is a God of production. You know what I mean? He doesn't deal with idleness. You know what I'm saying? That's not of the Lord, right? You got to be putting in work, increase them talents, man. Flip it and multiply it, right? Let's get this. Romans 12:2 says, and I start verse 1. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service, man. It's the least you can do is present your body a living sacrifice, man. After what Yahweh did, sending his son Yahweh Shai here to cover us with grace, to cover us with grace and mercy, right? It's your reasonable service to present your body a living sacrifice, right? Verse 2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High, right? How are you renewed? How's your mind renewed? Through the washing of the word, right? You got to be in this word, man, because in these scriptures is where you find Yahweh Shai, right? So let's get Romans the 15th chapter and the 4th verse. It reads, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope, right? And you know what I mean, you increase in hope, you increase in faith. It's impossible to please the Lord without faith, right? So you got to be in these scriptures. You got to be praying, man, right? You got to be, this is part of, you know, being in the scriptures is really like being in the film room. You get what I'm saying? You got to be watching film. You got to see how the greats did it, right? How they were able to persevere. You know what I mean? How they was able to, you know what I mean, make their call and election sure. So because these men were written in the book of remembrance, right? The Lamb's book of life is the scriptures, right? Especially the great men. You look at Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yahweh Shai tells you that the scattered elect is going to be coming, you know what I mean, back into the land to sit with them. That tells you that those are elect members. Those are men that are written in the book, right? Who else? It talks about the 12 apostles. They're going to be sitting on 12 thrones. Those are members of the elect, man. Right? So we should be learning about these men. We should be reading what they did and how they operated. You know what I'm saying? We got to be in that film room. Right, let's get this. St. John 5:39. Right? It says, seek the scriptures, for in them ye think ye find eternal life. And they are they which testify of me. Right? So, hey, man, you know what I mean? We got to be searching these scriptures. Eternal life is through it. We only get that through Yahweh Shai, man. That's how we get the gift from Yahweh, man. Through Yahweh Shai, right? And if you search the scriptures, they testify of Yahweh Shai, man. It's going to tell us, it's going to give us the instructions, right? When you get the Torah, the Tawurah, right? What is that? Instructions. How do we get eternal life, man? Keep the commandments, keep the faith, right? And you got to put up spiritual sacrifices, because sacrifice is part of the law, right? The ultimate sacrifice was Yahweh Shai, but we still got to be, a living sacrifice. And that sacrifice has to be pleasant to the Lord, because watch this. This is what happens when you present the wrong sacrifice, right? This is the book of Leviticus chapter 10 and verse 1. It says, and Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer and put fire therein and put incense thereon and offered strange fire before Yahweh, which he commanded them not. And there went out fire from Yahweh and devoured them, and they died before Yahweh, right? You don't want to be this strange fire, man. You know what I mean? A lot of niggas is doing things the Most High God didn't command them to do, offering strange fire. And they don't understand they playing a dangerous game, man. But they playing with fire. Your ass gonna get destroyed on the day of the Lord, right? And look what happened. This is similar to, right? Those that were offering strange fire, they were devoured by fire. A fire went out and devoured them, right? It says the judgment of the Lord is going to start at the house of the Lord, right? So the people out here claiming to be Israelites, man, but going out here teaching false doctrines, talking about everybody can be saved. We don't know the name of the Lord, right? Teaching the name of the Lord wrong, right? Hey, there's going to be a judgment for all of that, man, because you're not going to be girded up. A little leaven the whole lump. You might say, well, they're teaching our people to keep the commandments, this, that, and the third, but you don't understand. Certain things come with a certain vibration, right? And you get one thing wrong, it permeates through your whole entire doctrine. You might start out saying, well, you know what? I heard the name was Yahweh, but I like Yahuwah better. A lot of them Yahuwahs be completely bugged out, man. You know? Believing all these other different books, perverting the gospel, right? Trying to save the heathen. That's strange fire. The Most High God didn't command you to do that. He told you to eat the roll and go out and teach the children of Israel, right? Yahweh Shai said, I'm not sent but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. We still got people out here, Israelites out here in the Gentile state of mind that don't know who they are. Why the hell will we go save the Gentiles, the natural Gentiles, and not work on, not focus on the unnatural Gentiles? We supposed to be waking up the lost sheep of the house of Israel that are heirs to the promise, right? You trying to graft in whole other nations, right? And when in Romans 11 is talking about grafting in the wild and the natural olive trees, you trying to graft the orange tree into an olive tree, nigga. That's not what we here for. That's strange fire, man. You know what I'm saying? If you read these scriptures, you know, like in the law, it tells you that you can't even transfer inheritance between each of the 12 tribes, let alone a goddamn heathen, right? That's against the law. And the scriptures tell you in the new covenant, we're going to have the law written on our inward parts. So we're going to be keeping the law perfectly. So how the hell are we going to go against the law here in captivity? And then when we get into the land, we're going to keep the law perfectly. Right? Furthermore, hey, you know, salvation, part of salvation, right, is getting the land back and getting that new covenant, the law written on your inward parts. So you telling me that there's going to be heathens that are joined into the covenant and they're perfect? But when we read Zechariah 14 and 16, right? Zechariah the 14th chapter, it tells you that these other nations are going to be going off. They're going to be sinning in the kingdom, man. All right, let's get this. Let's go to Psalms, the first chapter. All right. Psalms 1 says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of Yahweh, and in his law doth he meditate day and night, right? You staying in these scriptures, right? Like Kobe said, man, he was addicted, man. He was always trying to figure out a way to work out better, right? To train better, watch film, right? Who else can I study, right? I seen video of Kobe, he training with Elijah Wan, man. Hakeem the Dream, you know what I mean? And Kobe, he wasn't no big man, he wasn't no power forward center, Nah, but he went out his way to learn the most he can to get right. You know what I'm saying? If you're a Judite, you can learn from Issachar. You can learn from Simeon. You can learn from Levi, right? Every tribe, we got great men from every tribe, man. You should be studying each one of these. You should be studying the priests. You should study the righteous prophets, the righteous kings. You get what I'm saying? Right? You gotta meditate in this law day and night. Right? And not just do this and do that. Understand the spirit behind what it's telling you to do. And then throughout the law, we got all these stories that you can gather wisdom from, man. Meditate in the law. And really, you meditate in the whole scriptures, man. Right? You should love these scriptures. You should have a love for the game, man. Right? Verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Right? Hey, so being addicted to this law, being addicted to these scriptures is going to make you prosper in all that you do, man. Especially if you filtering everything you do through the scriptures. Right? These scriptures will make you rich, man. You know what I mean? Wise unto salvation. And that's where we should be looking forward to, being rich in the kingdom, man. That's where our treasure should be. You know, doing this work so that we can rule in the kingdom, man. That's what should really get you up in the morning, man. It should motivate you to get through the day, right? So you can get home, get into these scriptures. Get home, do things that please the Most High God. Live your whole life in a way that pleases him, man. Verse 4, the ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For Yahweh knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Right? So the way of the righteous man is being addicted to these scriptures, man. Be addicted to pleasing the Lord, right? Revelation 1 and 3 says, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand, right? What's the point here? Blessed is he that readeth. You got to read, man. You got to study, right? Study to show thyself approved, man. That's the sacrifice of your time, man. You got to tie time to the Most High God, Yahweh, right? That's a part of your tithes, man. Don't rob the Most High God if it's tithes, man, which is your time, your attention, right? Your worship. That's what, we got to be doing these things in these times, man. So let me get a couple more scriptures and I'm going to get up out of here. All right. This is Proverbs 20 and 21. It says, an inheritance may be gotten hastily at the beginning, but the end thereof shall not be blessed, right? And this goes into reminds me of these trust fund babies, man. They get all this money and they didn't even have to work for it, right? The end of that is not going to be blessed, man. Right? We're being blessed by we have to work for our inheritance. Well, it's been thousands of years since we've been in the land, man. You know, we've been coming back generation from generation, and we've been, the Most High God has been refining us, right? Our heritage hasn't been gotten hastily, man. We had to be patient for it, right? So the end of that is going to be blessed. Right, verse 22 says, say not thou, I will recompense evil, but wait on Yahweh, and he shall save thee, right? That's what we got to do. Wait on the Lord, man. Where should we be waiting for him? In the temple, man. Right? In his scriptures. We should be waiting on the Lord in these scriptures. Why are we waiting on him? We should be increasing. We should be swinging that hammer, man. Right? We should be forging greatness out in this mud. All right, I want to get a word in here. What was the word? All right, what is it? I want to get the word for wait. The word wait is quawa, right? To wait, look for, hope, expect, waiting, right? To wait, look eagerly for, to collect, bind together, to be collected, right? What are we collecting, man? Wisdom from these scriptures. We should be collecting all the information we can. We should be learning the prophecies so that we can warn our people. We should be getting wisdom so that, hey, in the time of trouble, we have strength, right? Let's get this real quick. Isaiah 33 and 6. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of thy salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure, right? So, hey, man, we should be gathering wisdom and knowledge so we can be stable in the times of trouble, man. When everybody else is freaking out, right? Matter of fact, let's get this. Was it Job? I want to say it's the 5th chapter, right? Yeah. So actually, I'll start at verse 19. Job 5:19 says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 shall no evil touch thee. What's this talking about, man? The deliverance, right? The 7th trumpet sounds, right? 6 and 7 are pretty much synonymous, right? The nuclear destruction comes, then the 7th trumpet sounds, and Yahweh Shai cracks the sky, right? So we're going to be, Lord willing, we're of the number of the elect. We shall be delivered in that 7th trumpet, right? Verse 20, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Though thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth, right? But see, when famine and destruction come, we're going to be laughing, right? We're looking at the news and we see prophecy coming to pass. Right, when we see Europe turning on America, when we see these small hats and Esau being exposed for the wickedness and their, their adventures on these random islands, right? We see that the Most High God is working in the earth, right? So we're laughing. You know what I'm saying? When we see these people coming out with these data centers using up all the water, killing the earth, we're laughing because we knowing that, hey, the Most High God is going to upset their enterprises. Right, their plan ain't gonna work, man. We know how it's gonna end, and the Most High God is showing Himself to be true because He spoke of what's gonna happen before it happens, right? So let's get this Psalms 37. All right, and I'm gonna start at where I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start at 27. Then I'm gonna get up out of here. This is Psalms 37 and 27. It says, depart from evil and do good, and dwell forevermore, right? Dwell in good, man. Dwell in this knowledge, wisdom, understanding. You should be dwelling in this game, man. This, this information is what you should be dwelling in, right? Verse 28. For Yahweh loveth judgment, and forsaketh not his saints. They are preserved forever, but the seed of the wicked shall be cut off. The righteous shall inherit the land, and dwell therein forever. The mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment. The law of the Most High is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide. Right? How do we get the law in our heart, man? By reading it, by studying it. You know what I mean? Being addicted to it, right? Your heart is just your mind, right? So, hey, the word of the Most High got to be in your mind, man. Continuously meditate on it day and night, right? Verse 32, the wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him, right? So that's what, hey, man, you got to be sober, got to be vigilant. You got to be ready. You got to be prepared. You got to be girding yourself up because the wicked's watching us. No matter who you are, you might think you a nobody. You unimportant. The wicked is watching your ass. Esau, Edom is watching your ass. These other nations are watching you. And Satan, Hasatan, he's going to use these people as agents of evil, agents of chaos. And they're watching you to see where they can catch you up. That's why you always got to be on guard, man. Don't be on the job site running your mouth about, conspiracy theories. You're talking about, the scriptures, expounding on things. You could do a little. You got to have finesse with how you move, man. It always got to be finesse. You got to be gamed up. Know that the wicked is watching you, no matter who you are, right? Especially if you come in this truth, you calling on the name Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, you diligent. Hey, the Hasatan, he got your name on a list, man, right? He trying to catch you up. You know what I'm saying? because that's his job. You know what I mean? The sift niggas is weak, right? He's damn good at it, man. He know what to throw in your face, man. He can throw a G-Wagon in your face. He can throw some bad broads in your face. He can throw some money in your face. He know how to get you, man. Right? That's why you got to be studying scriptures and studying yourself. You get what I'm saying? Take an honest evaluation of yourself, man, and determine, you know what I mean, ponder whether you be in the truth or not. Right? Verse 33, Yahweh will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged. Wait on Yahweh and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it. Right? And that's what we want to see, man. We want to get back in our land, and we want to see the wicked driven out of the land. Right? There's no new thing under the sun, man. Just like our ancestor, you know what I mean, our forefather Joshua came and had to drive the Canaanites up out that land. We're going to have to drive Amalek out that land, man. When Yahushua come, these people, well, they're already going to be driven out of the land. They're going to be destroyed in that land by nuclear fire. But, you know what I mean, the similitude is still there, man. These people got to be driven out of the land, right? Because we taking all of that, damn near all that land is going to be for the children of Israel, man. These heathens got to be driven about this land, man. Right? And what we do right now, we don't take up arms. We just come out here and destroying with our word, man, which is the word of the Lord, right? Keep on pushing this truth, right? Keep the ways of the Lord. Stay diligent, man, and stay sharp. And, you know, that's pretty much all I got to say. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Until next time, ayo, shalom.